You know that weirdly specific moment? You're walking down the street, maybe thinking about grabbing a coffee, and bam, your phone buzzes. It's an ad for 40% off at the exact coffee shop you're standing in front of. For a split second, it feels kind of magical. But then another feeling starts to creep in, right? Is it super helpful or is it just invasive? That's the big question, and it's actually at the heart of some really cool research. So what is the secret ingredient that turns an ad from annoying into actually useful? Let's dive in and unpack the science behind it.
To figure this out, researchers basically set up a test. So check this out. On the one hand, you're out shopping for jeans, and you get that perfect ad for a denim store just around the corner. Super helpful, right? But now, imagine you're looking for a power bank for your phone, and you get that exact same ad for jeans. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel helpful at all. It just feels like spam. That little difference is everything.
To really understand that snap judgment we all make, we need a kind of map for how our brain processes these things. And luckily for us, there's a classic framework in psychology that's perfect for the job.
It's called the Stimulus Organism Response Model, or just SOR for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a simple three-act story for why we do what we do. And researchers use this exact model to break down what's happening in that split second when a location-based ad hits your screen.
So here's how it works. First, you get the stimulus. That's the ad popping up on your phone. Simple enough. Second is the organism. That's you. Your brain has this immediate internal reaction. You're weighing all these things at once. Is this useful? Do I trust this brand? Is this annoying me? And finally, all of that leads to your response. You either click it to learn more, or you just swipe it away. It's a really powerful way to frame the whole experience.
And that's exactly what the researchers did. They took this SOR model and built a whole large-scale experiment around it, all to figure out the perfect recipe for an ad that we'd actually, want to see.
Now, to get some solid answers, they surveyed 459 young consumers in India, a group that's super connected to mobile tech. And this wasn't just some casual online poll. It was a really carefully designed study where every single person was shown different ad scenarios to see what their real gut reactions were.
So what were they actually testing? Well, they zeroed in on 4 key ingredients in their ad recipe. They played around with each one. First, did you give the company permission? Second, do you trust the brand that's sending the ad? Third, is the ad relevant to what you're doing right now? And finally, is the context right? Like, is the store actually nearby?
Just to make this real, here's a quote from one of their scenarios. This is basically the absolute worst-case ad. Literally everything is wrong. It's not relevant, you never gave permission, you don't trust them, and the store isn't even close. This is the ad that everybody hates. They then mixed and matched these 4 ingredients to create 15 other scenarios.
So after putting hundreds of people through all 16 of these different ad recipes, what did they find? Which of those 4 ingredients turned out to be the one that mattered most? Well, the answer was actually a little surprising.
The data showed that the biggest shifts in people's attitudes happen right here. The different ad combinations had a huge effect on whether people thought the ad had value, if it was interesting, or if it was genuinely useful. This is that organism stage, our internal reaction in action. Something in that ad recipe was fundamentally changing how valuable people felt the ad was.
Now, you would probably guess that getting permission or trusting the brand would be the most important things. And, they're not unimportant, but they weren't the real game changers.
It turned out the secret ingredients, the 2 factors that overwhelmingly decided if an ad felt helpful or just plain creepy, were relevance and context. That's it. In other words, the 2 questions our brain cares about most are, is this ad about something I want right now? And is it for a place I can actually get to right now? When those 2 things clicked, people's view of the ad totally changed.
So, what does this actually mean for us? This discovery has pretty huge implications, not just for the companies trying to advertise, but for all of us trying to make sense of our digital world.
For marketers, the lesson is really clear. Just getting someone to check a box that says, yes, you can send me ads, is not enough. The real win is in being genuinely helpful. The focus needs to shift from just blasting out messages to delivering the right message at the exact right moment it can help someone out.
And for you and me, this research kind of explains our own gut feelings. That flash of annoyance when you get a totally random ad isn't just you being grumpy. It's your brain doing this lightning-fast calculation. Is this relevant and is the context right? If the answer is no, it feels invasive. But if the answer is yes, well, then it feels like a service. And that kind of leads us to a final, pretty interesting thought. If an ad is so perfectly timed, so perfectly relevant that it helps you solve a problem you have in that exact moment,
Is it even really an ad anymore? Or has it turned into something else entirely?